couldn't be the only one. Yeah, I couldn't be the only one. Oh, you're not fooling anyone with that disguise. Will you believe I still see snake eyes? Well, shed your skin, a bit of everything. I turn my back, but still see snake eyes. Each time I lost my mind, I can tell myself I'm better off without you. I can tell myself I'm better off alone. But I tell myself that no one cares, and I'll keep keeping on. 'Cause sometimes
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Welsh Esports League, here for, well, our second week of Rainbow6 Siege action. I am Golimonu, and joined tonight by the wonderful Jude. And Jude, you know what? First time joining us for the Welsh Esports League, and bit of an opening game for you on your hands. You know, Swansea, the team from last season, winning out, coming first. The Goats, slightly worse last season, finishing in bottom place, but won their game last week. How are you feeling coming into this one?
Well, I'm expecting Swansea to win, but I'd rather the Goats, considering my friends used to play on it. And also, I'm from Cardiff, so gotta back anyone except for Swansea.
Just that classic rivalry, sort of just peering through all of time, never going away. And I mean, I can understand the hatred, right? If I was stuck in Cardiff, I would also feel pretty miserable about how much better Swansea is, and just
Yeah.
feeling a little bit upset about that sort of thing.
I don't know about that one. I think Cardiff might be clear by quite a mile.
Yeah, who needs a capital when you have a long stretch of land by the sea? I mean, it's covering the bay. It has a swan in the name. But no, I think this should be pretty interesting, right? The Swansea Esports roster is kind of the core from the old Swansea Esports society at Swansea University, and that team was obviously pretty strong, pretty decent at staying at the top of their game, and they transitioned that into the Welsh Esports League here. The Goats, a couple changes, right? Polar Bible still forming the core of that roster, but with 3 new players, it'll be interesting to see what they kind of bring to the table and how that changes the Goats, right? Already coming in we saw them on stream last week. They had that win. 7-5, bit of a push towards the end, but, points is all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, the Goats, with a change of roster, we might not see as much as them losing as much as they were last season. So hopefully with a new introduction, we can see a closer game this time than last season.
Yeah, and obviously, if we're starting out with best of ones, exciting action, you might as well start on an exciting map. Chalet coming up. I mean, it's one of these classic Siege maps, right? I mean, ever since its rework in Shadow Legacy, and then it made that appearance at SI in 2021. Since then, it's been kind of the standard rotation map. Very aggressive, lots of opportunities for teams to really take it. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what these teams come up with. I'm expecting especially Swans to be very aggressive right up in the face of the Goats. And especially, you know, the Goats starting on that defense, if the Swans can put a lot of pressure in the early attacks, then I think we can start to see that ball rolling for them in this game. So for me, the big thing here is just going to be the Goats showing that resilience in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, obviously, being defenders, you'd expect them to maybe win the first few rounds. However, we know how good the Swans are, so we could actually see the Swans taking a few rounds straight away.
Yeah, and, you know, you pick up a couple early rounds. You're looking at aggressive starts here on Chalet, right? If you can get at that half time to 4-2 for the attack, that can be really solid lead, and then you transition into that defense, you play a little bit more, you know, loose, right? And just try and see out the rest of the season from there. It all starts with the operator ban phase. Dude, anyone you're expecting to see get axed immediately?
Probably the Mirror, maybe. Oh, here we go. Lion, decent ban there. We know how powerful Lion is with the scan, being able to find everyone across the map.
Well, first attack and ban off, and I mean, there's still a couple usual suspects that you'd expect to get taken away at this point. Something like the Flores, really powerful ban, and one that Swans do quite like to axe when they can.
Let's see the second ban here. Going to ban Nook here. Very powerful operator once again, being able to avoid the cams. The Swans banning on defense now.
That's another one of these options where there's so much to choose from in Siege, right? You've got the Mirrors, the Valkyries. Cade is a popular one to get rid of, especially when you're looking at some of the walls you want to try and be able to breach up pretty quickly. You do have that Thatcher on board, but a lot of teams just not really feeling running that Thatcher at the moment because there's other ways. You've got the pocket EMPs with the bountiful operators who have access to that now. But the Valkyrie, that's the first one to get taken away. That Swans ban, the Goats following in very quickly with a Warden ban. A little bit spicy.
Yeah, quite weird really, because I don't see one ban very much. Usually, obviously, they ban Azami. She's extremely powerful on defense, so unexpected to not see her banned.
I immediately picking up that Ying, and look, this is one of those things. You're starting on defense, you ban away the Warden. You're kind of asking for the Ying to be brought out here. And yeah, the MPX with the 1.5, very lethal gun, and you're expecting to see some of the frag potential on Swans really be well put together to utilize an operator like Warden in these aggressive positions. But you've also just opened the window for this Ying. And I do worry, with Dai, Candela's a very quick Swansea esports attack, this could be a little bit scary. I am interested to see how this pays off for them, because we're probably in for 6 rounds of Ying, but you're already seeing a couple adjustments from the attack here. Getting that Habana onto the Ace, the Ying coming off immediately. So I just said we're going to see 6 rounds of it, straight onto the Glaz. Still another one of these operators who Warden is really built to fight against.
Yeah, obviously not playing Ying, that could be a mistake. However, Glaz, as you just said then, obviously one of Warden's main counters, but unfortunately no Warden to play. So we can see how this plays out here.
Got the Thermite, they can get the Breach open up. Just need to figure a way to get these bandits off, and you can already see the nades in the hand of Dai on that Glaz to try and burn through. But they need something to disrupt these ADSs. If you're using smokes or frags to try and get rid of it, it's not the most practical solution, as, well, that's already 2 nades down, only 1 ADS expended, and there you go. You can see the little cargo train all the way across the other end of the map. You do have the Dokkaebi. Jeff could have gone for those EMPs, still have to fight about the bandit trick, but with the nades, they wanted that extra set of smokes, I guess.
Yeah, here we go. We got Ying, Ayana in the building already, holding an angle, trying to find an enemy to walk into them.
You can see Vabs just, again, waiting. But being so close to the site already is this threat for the Goats. And they can start to walk in. Still a mute jammer on the wall they'll have to get rid of. The Wamai lurking around above is someone who could come down these west main stairs and really play an upset in the round. But for the time being, biding their time. ZK doesn't want to overextend, doesn't want to give up their life too recklessly.
Oh, and the Jaeger goes down there straight away into a 5v4 for Swans. See if they can find another pick here.
Dai is on the lurk above. Just they are maybe expecting someone to be here, and I think the drone ping coming through to indicate, yep, we've spotted out that were my, but with Polar able to get the pick onto Vabs, that early pressure towards the site, that does free up the site members to maybe rotate around to give a little bit of support to ZK in this position. The Tracers flying through the walls so far unable to find their target, but ZK's just running up to the top floor saying, I don't want to deal with any of this right now. They can continue wasting their time. Matty has taken some damage to get into the position on Boiler as well. So despite a little bit of an opening into sight, it's not quite enough to really see this attack through.
Still upstairs, just hoping that someone will come up to find him. But he could actually look upstairs for a while and come down when it's unexpected and hopefully find a few picks. Here comes a pick here. 3v4, 2v4 now. The goats up on the man. 2v3 though. Die finds pick.
Throwing the bearing as well. Matty pushing into sight, but as he's trying to cross the doorway, gets injured out. Matty able to be in position to trade the kill back. Still the 1 vs 2 to overcome. And Little Lima wrapping around the pillar. Grabs that first defensive win for the side of the goats. And I mean, look, that's the start you'd be looking for, right? You're able to deal with the early aggression. You have a really good success on that roam, just staying alive for as long as you can. And really putting Swans in this awkward position where none of the work they wanted to get done on the site, opening up the main breach, opening up the side breach into Wine from Boiler, couldn't really come through. No way of getting that strong opening commanding pick because, yeah, they got one, but it was pretty quickly grabbed back by Polar. You lose that threat. Time kind of slips away.
Yeah, I think had they run someone maybe like Twitch, been able to take out the bandits, they could have actually taken that round for themselves there, rather than losing it.
Yeah, and there's lots of tools available, right? It's just not having any of them available. Going with the frag grenades, not bringing EMPs. These sort of things can hurt, and if you have the full plan go through to succession, it's brilliant because you have more spectral utility for later on, right? You get that set of nades, you get another set of smokes. Sometimes you just need to make sure the beginning set of those attacks gets completed, and now the goats get to move on to the next site in their rotation. It's going to be Dining Kitchen, so, you know, wanting to test out some of these middle floor sites now, you've got the mirror, and you can see the couple of players setting up above as if they were defending towards that master site because of the power of having space above, being able to play the vertical angles, but more importantly, also forces Swans Esports to come up and deal with you, to take you on upstairs, because if not, you're going to have these opportunities to shoot down into the site when they're going for their execute.
Yes, we see there straight away. Vabs on the window with Osa. Just trying to make some space here. Droning throughout the building. Finds the enemy. Hoping to kill him. Just cautious on the stairs.
Dancing around the glass for the time being, but no one else really that close by, so it's just going to be a case of stalling out time, waiting to see what happens from the rest here. Already, Matty trying to find the fight behind the mirror window. It's been deployed on a soft wall. So later on in the round, something like, you know, the sledgehammer or maybe the Nash breaching round will be able to take that away from the defense. But Countland still just trying to fend off the aggression from the other side of the site now. Swans going for this full encompassing assault.
Yeah, heading upstairs now. Trying to take out the Frost. Holding the angle. Unlucky not to get the pick there. Once again, gonna get rushed here. Holding them off very well though.
Still jostling with Diana, another frag grenade in hand, recognizing no ADSs to support it, but the throw's a little bit too deep and takes the damage. It's dealt back onto Frost as well, but still sort of stalemate as they're just waiting. The information being thrown out, baited by the drone, but misses the all-important shots wrapped around. The Frost wins the gunfight, holds onto this position inside a piano. The deployable shield still up, still Pogmats waiting around the corner. Brilliant start for the goats.
We're holding up there now, hopefully not getting taken down. Although he is 1 HP, so he's got to be careful of his positioning here.
Oh, Nitrous Helm flying out, but it's not able to catch any players or stop the exothermic charge from exploding. The Talonate now being set down by the Osa. Still has to worry about Cade just behind the table, though. That is definitely going to be a cause of concern later on in the round. Still, I take it all back. Shot through a drone hole.
Yeah, Pozen goes down. Now good he is. 3v4 now. Vab's just waiting, trying to find an enemy to get a nice pick on.
Still just patiently waiting, looking through the breach. This upstairs threat hasn't been dealt with, though. No control of Office means that you can start to see the Rooney making these holes, looking for an opportunity to shoot down below, and gets Spack, takes down the Thermite. Diffuser dropped temporarily, but Die upstairs on the balcony, so close, able to retaliate and grab the pick back. The Injure coming through onto the Frost is a great start, but Bible able to get the pick onto Vabs. There's only 7 seconds left in the round. Die needs to make a move, needs to get to site with the door barricaded. That's going to be a little bit awkward. Spots up Bible behind the counter, but with the time remaining, the door barricaded off. There's no way through for them, and the Goats have found another round.
Yeah, I think missing out on that crucial kill on the Frost there may have actually cost them that round there, because they have to be cautious about the Frost being upstairs. But they couldn't get the free kill, unfortunately, with the nade.
Just a lack of coordination there to try and deal with that threat, and you have the drone thrown in, which works as a great bait to get you through the door. But if you can't finish it off, if you're going to get jiggled around the shield and then taken down, it's all for nothing. There's no one there to trade out with or to be in a position to get that space.
Yeah, maybe had they... Oh, sorry, you go on.
Go for it, mate.
Maybe they had 2 people upstairs, the Ion and another teammate. They could have swung at the same time. One drone maybe, the other one swings. So maybe get the pick there.
But instead, the Goats doing a great job of just sort of waiting for the aggression to come in, dealing with it in a very efficient manner, not overextending themselves in the process. It's 2 rounds in a row now. We've seen really good openings start for Swans, but they haven't been able to follow through on them, and the Goats very willing to take advantage of that and put themselves back in control of the rounds. And now you can see a very extended setup here, trying to use these Cade Claws to block off the walls from Office. You know that's where the attack wants to start. It was interesting to see it thrown on the inside of Office because, well, if the Swans are observant, they will be able to see the Electric Claw and just shoot it out rather than having to sort of deal with it via the use of utility, which could be somewhat relevant as we reach the late part of the round, but already Matty starting to put pressure directly onto site while the rest of the team looks elsewhere towards the map just to start to pressure the defense back. Early engagement, but you're really able to escape away again. That's twice now that Goats have just had really successful roams, just slipping through the net, slipping through the fingers, and a Pogmat comes through, takes out Dye's ankles. Your Flores is off injured on the ground. I don't know if the defense realize it, but there's no one nearby to pick him up.
Really goes down there. That's a great pick. 4v4. Trying to get some space here. 4v3 now.
Count unable to collect the kill onto Dye. Do lose a roam in the process. Matty still outside on this window, able to grab a kill onto Polar inside a site. So the pressure starting to build up towards the Goats now as the Swans are looking to push out towards Ivy, towards this shield. And the defender waiting on the other side of it. ZK having set up these magnets means there's going to need to be some form of coordination. You can see the stun grenades coming through to try and catch off as many of these nades as possible. The late deployment of the magnet doing a great job at keeping this utility alive for as long as possible. But eventually, it does fall, and he has to back away, has to give the space over to the Swans.
It's got to be careful here. One tap. All it takes is one bullet, and the defenders have a great chance of winning this.
Now just posturing. Swans looking to get this sort of encompassing spread. All 3 defenders stuck inside of the site with nowhere to retreat at this point. So it's just going to be a case of applying slow pressure in. 50 seconds is plenty of time to pull off this attack. Jeff watching, commanding the long corridor. How do they execute in? Habana waiting by the window with the fuser in hand, looking to push on in. It's Bible's job now to make sure that isn't going to happen. Has to watch vigilantly, but it's by getting aggressive on the hatch. We actually see a trade as the Habana walks in, takes the kill onto Bible, playing the window. Countland tries to walk in, but Matty covering from the window into sight, collects the Swans their first round win of the game.
Hand to them there. That's a great attack. Getting a kill on the hatch was pretty strong pick there as well.
A little bit fortunate to get that trade-off, right? You lose that kill, I mean, it does make things a little bit harder, but with the way the rest of the squad were positioned, just ready to move in off of that kill, was great to see. And it's something that, you know, we just said we would have liked to see the Swans push together a little bit more to get some of these kills in the first round. That time, we saw them, Little Lima, hiding away inside a bathroom, there was that push. There was one coming up Solarium, one by Master Bedroom, one pushing in from the doorway from Piano. And these sort of group pinches are what really leads to successful collection of kills. And then they can transcend that advantage they have into a round win like we saw, and that's where this squad really thrives. So now for a second round back of the basement attack, what's the change up here? What do you want to see differently?
I'm surprised that there isn't any people who can stop the bandit right now. They might not actually run anyone. Like Thatcher could be very useful here. They have the ace. They got Maverick, to be fair. That could also help out very much.
Without the Glaz, that's if they still want that big breach, right? I mean, I'm assuming they do. It's generally pretty handy to have. But I guess Die, already running over to it, screams, this is Maverick's job. Is it going to be a full trick? That would be my guess, as, well, you can see him lining up to the top of the wall. Just going to start burning that one away. No supports. There is a little bit of an opportunity here for the Bandit to get aggressive and try and prevent him from getting his job done.
Yeah, if he does go down here, huge advantage for the Goats. And you could actually see them taking the round once again.
Vab's already in and just grabbing the first kill. Little Lima just not expecting anyone to be there and now looking for a second. Just holding this commanding angle by the doorway. Is this army going to peek into it? No. Going to throw a Kiba, give themselves a little bit more cover. Though that throw, not in the spot they would have necessarily wanted it to be.
Yeah, unfortunate throw there. Still leaving space for the attackers to get in and maybe get a shot off. Matty gets a kill there on ZK. That's a big pick. 5 versus 3 now. Zami's holding the angle, gets taken down by Vabs. Great shot there.
Polar alone in sight. Has to do it all. Vabs on a triple kill now. A 1 versus 5. Not a very enviable position to be in. And Vabs is going to make it a quad kill on the round, dude. Just walking through and just shooting everyone.
Yeah, it's surprised to see the Azami go down there, hiding behind the barrier. Would have expected at least one pick from that position. Unfortunately, with a throw previously, maybe had they got the nice throw off of the Kiba barrier onto the door, that could not have happened potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think just again, Swans recognizing their mistakes last time, right? Getting that early pressure on the backside, making it very difficult to play inside of the snowmobile garage. The push from Vabs just so quick in though, and it caught them off guard. Right, the rest of the defense not really in the correct positions to deal with the threat that was coming their way. And now the Goats have a little bit of decision-making to do. They could have gone back to Dining Kitchen, but instead running Bar Gaming, the site they lost in round number 3. So to see them crack back at it again is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, well, after what happened last round, I wouldn't expect them to go basement, because Vabs was killing everyone, basically. Couldn't stop him. They need to hold the angles better, but unfortunately they couldn't.
Looks like going to be a very similar setup coming through from them once again. So reinforcing off Office gives them that space to play with, and we saw the idea behind this setup, right? Little Lima getting caught off in bathroom so early on, obviously not ideal. Die, I don't think is going to get caught out by the same Frostmat in mud. You never know. It's Siege, weird things happen all the time, but being that he's on the Maverick now, I'm expecting a cheeky little play. You come through the snowmobile garage wall, you make a little bit of a hole into that stock, try and catch off Bible playing behind that mirror window again. Because, yeah, Spack got the kill just challenging the window blindly, but that could have been a little bit of a devastating blow for them if that mirror had been successful in holding the position.
Yeah, well, I'll expect the mirror to hold the position here. Hopefully, going to do it successfully in order to get at least 1 kill in this round. See Matty going in through the basement there.
That's the one to watch at the moment, I think. You know, feeling the most hot on the trigger after obviously 4K in the last round. Starting to try and get these upside down repels to give them the angles to draw longer lines of sight, but walking straight up. Countland just not expecting Jaff to be standing so close by, the proximity alarm giving the Ash a little bit of a scare, but that only gets worse as Matty's able to get the kill onto Bible as well. Die does have this access into the basement, but isn't even going to need it to clear out stock. ZK back on top of Ivy to remount this shield, has the ability to throw up these magnets in pocket if that looks to be where the attack are coming, but so far not too worried about utility for the rest of the Swans. They're ready to just push straight on into sight.
Yeah, here we go. Plant down. It's happening. Goats, 2 versus 5. 5 versus 1 now. Looking not very promising for the Goats. Zen takes one down. Trying to find the next. And he gets taken down, unfortunately, by Vabs. We see today how powerful Vabs is on the Iana.
Yeah. I mean, Iana's a scary operator at the best of times. You put it in the hands of someone like Vabs, and you just know you're in for a bit of a treat. Well, if you're not on the opposing team. Otherwise, you're in for a bit of a nightmare. Now,
Yeah, well,
Swans, I mean, 3-2 up. That's obviously a good start for them.
yeah, on the attack as well. It's quite surprising. I did see the Goats potentially winning more rounds here. See if they could take this one, though.
And it is happening. It's happening, Jude. We're seeing Zen. He's treating us to a little bit of the Tachanka. And not the LMG. I feel like the LMG, not a fan favorite, right? It feels a little bit clunky to try and use for gunfighting, which does mean they're going to have to leave the reconstruction to other members of the team. They've got a couple of impacts in the pocket of Bible on that Malusi. I don't think they have any shotguns across the roster, so potentially some difficulty in setting up the sort of standard set of rotations, but you do get the 1.5 on the 9x19, which, you know, very, very lovely gun for anyone who's played enough to Capcan will be well aware of. Still, this Ying, which has been hovering around, getting changed off to the Glaz once again, so still favoring the ability to throw down these smokes and look through it, and I mean, we already saw what he can do with the DMR, right? Like, this guy will hit his shots. So it's not that kind of risk of not having a fully automatic weapon that often would be. You also get the Bearing 9 secondary, which it's a lot more manageable than it was a couple seasons back.
Yeah, as you just said then, I'm surprised there isn't a Ying coming in. Obviously playing Glad. Sort of similar behaviour there with the flashes. Oh, the smoke, sorry. Be able to see through them. But I think I would prefer a Ying coming in here.
Have the pinch on Countland, who's going to get a couple shots away into Vabs, but have to back off through the basement. Able to escape, not being chased for the time being. There's still obviously the big option for Vabs to try and hunt this down. You don't want to have Aroma lurking around behind you, especially when trying to get access to the mezzanine balcony, when you want to get that breach opened up. For the time being, still watching in along the long corridor, and ZK gonna challenge him and get punished for it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they had to get punished on that challenge. However, oh, 4 versus 4 now. Die goes down to Bible.
That's your Glaz off the table as well. The drone being thrown on mezzanine, expecting someone to be close on the angle. They are. They're just too close to be able to spot out. And now hiding behind the barricade for cover. Jaff does take a little bit of damage. He's going to back up into the waiting lines of sight for Little Lima to collect the kill. Has to be a little bit conscious of the long angle that can be drawn. Going to throw out another Electroclaw, though. Survives a shot to the arm from Spack, who still, they haven't found a way to open up this breach.
Yeah, Spack just giving the constant pressure there. Maybe not expected from Little Lima, but... Oh! Nade goes in from Matty to kill Little Lima. 3 versus 3 scenario here.
Another one behind the half wall, just in case that Cade was still playing in the aggressive position. We, of course, know it was the Cade caught out by the initial grenade. Now Vabs looking to give themselves the rotation option to move out onto the balcony. But they can start to threaten from the side. But of course, it's being watched vigilantly by Bible. The fire starting to come out. Just to dissuade the Swans pushing through, as Bible punishes Vabs for going up to the window, claiming that man count advantage now in the 2 versus 3. Matty in the same position, looking to try and just keep the pressure up. The breach still closed, means it's going to be a naked push through the doorways. But the fire dissuading the Thermite from joining the sledge in the assault. Waiting for the opportunity to jump on in as Spack takes down Countland, so it's the Thatcher, the Thermite to push on in now in the 1 versus 2. Zen hiding behind the wall still, the fire flowing out, the Banshee slowing him down. The shots coming through, but it's the fire that lands the final blow.
There's the power of Tachanka. Has to go in because of the time. Unfortunately cannot because the Tachanka flames burn him to death.
And you pair that with a Banshee. Sometimes barbed wire as well. You can't move, you're getting burned, you're getting shot at by 2 players. All you have to do there is not line up with the time as low as it was, and, well, they didn't. They got the kill, they got the win, and they end the half 3-all, which I think The first 2 rounds, pretty good for the Goats. Swansea really figured out how they wanted their attacks to go and started playing a little bit better off of each other, which kind of led to them grabbing those next 3 rounds. Ending at 3-all, pretty satisfactory half for the Goats, and now it's going to be a case of how can they break this Swansea defense down. The Warden still banned away, but of course that's kind of the targeted ban. You don't want to give Dye anything too comfortable to be able to play with. Vabs as well, you give him that Warden. You just know he's going to be running around looking for gunfights all round long. I'm interested to see what they make of this now. The attacking lineup obviously can change, and it is going to be Countland bringing out that Thatcher. So the tools to open up this main breach efficiently that we didn't really see Swansea leaning on.
Yeah, we see Dai playing on the new character Fenrir, and Fenrir is a great operator, very powerful with the opportunity to be able to blind the opposition, see if they can walk into any of the traps.
The worst thing for me with Fenrir is just how many spawn peeking things you can do with like shenanigans of placing them next to the drone holes.
Spawn peek coming out there.
Yeah,
Zen coming half HP.
8 the damage. As long as you're not dead, I guess it's kind of fine. And you're on your hard breach, you're right, so you just need to make sure you get those Selmas onto the wall. No denial. Maybe there's a mute jammer. I think that's what they're waiting on.
Had Zen gone down there, that could have changed the course of this round.
Would have been brutal.
Having the hard breach go down, it's the worst death you could possibly have here. Here we go. Look at hard breach to hatch.
They're afraid of someone playing up in main lobby because of that window getting punched out, and only the one Selma used on the wall means it's going to be a vaultable hole, but you can't sprint straight in, hug those green boxes, the green bins for the plant. Back looking to maybe throw a nitro cell outside, as well, that's immediately what he's going to try and do. Overthrows the target by just a smidge.
They come now, taking a different approach, coming around the back. Open up the barrier, entering the building. Here comes more Selmas. 4 versus 5 now for the Swans.
Little Lima striking first and taking down Vabs. This is a great start for them. That's the roam cleared out, and still wary of other players who might be up above. And good reason to be, as they're going to run right past the silhouette of our other roamer. Die on that Fenrir. I have a really bad feeling this is going to be a horrible missed drone.
Here we come. Fenrir takes down the 1. Drops down. So Lima just cautious. Checking everywhere.
It's the paranoia and the time that it eats. That's the real danger here for the Goats. As their leaders kind of slipped away in this round, and now with the defense being able to stabilize their positions and set themselves up in the basement, you have to really worry, and with Dye lurking in the corridor, it's the head height holes that get checked, leading to yet another kill going down on the roam. 2 remaining attackers left, 1 jumping straight through the breach. It's Countland just trying to stick the diffuser down, but there's no coverage at all. You can't commit to it without support, and Spack gets the double kill at the end, gets injured in the process, so we're not going to be treated to a final kill cam. But instead the Swans able to hold on defensively.
Yeah, the roam there from the Fenrir was absolutely massive. Unfortunately, not be able to find him on the drone, so therefore leading to 2 kills. And then not being able to cover the plant, that was a huge mistake, causing the loss of the round. Maybe others could have stayed alive, helped try and cover, but as I said, the Fenrir just roaming, getting a couple kills, winning the round basically for the team.
Setting up. Just once again, kind of chill. Nothing too stressful going on now with the setup phase. It's kind of the joy of Siege, right? You get a little bit of downtime in between each bit of action. Some would say it's a little bit too long. Some would say it's not long enough, depending on how much you like construction and how little you enjoy violence. But generally, this is going to be a sort of standard setup for them, right? They've got the reinforcements coming up inside of Office. They've got Kebas instead of deployable shield set up by Piano, but it still gives the same purpose, same role, right? It's just to give a little bit of a pillar to play around so that you can challenge the attackers coming in from the corridor. That's just a great thing to be able to have available to you.
The Jackal coming out here from ZK, potentially finding one opposition to take down straight away. if he can find their footsteps. Could be a huge play. Die. Getting shot at, unfortunately not killed though.
Countman on the drone. Little Ema walking down the balcony. Again, we saw Matty going for a similar sort of job, right? Just trying to apply that pressure on the side so that it drags a little bit the direction, but we've lost Zen from the game. That could hurt them a little bit. It's too late in the round to rehost this point, so we'll have to do that after the round is over. And with Vabs adding a kill as well, that makes things a little bit difficult as he's going to run out straight into the melee. The barricade was the intended target. You'll take the free kill onto the Fenrir. A little bit of damage onto Vabs as well, so still the opportunity, and with that kill coming through for Bible, a great chance to stabilize or equal out this round. Your hard breach is down, so things are going to become a little bit more forced manual labor, but as I say that, immediately walking into the frost mat takes Little Lima down. So effective 2 versus 3 for the time being. With these armies so close by, I don't think it's going to be very likely that you can pick them up.
Yeah, we've seen the frost mats coming into play quite a lot here. 2 deaths so far, I believe. Gotta be cautious entering the building.
Couple sprays through the walls just to try and put the pressure on, deny the pickup coming through, but they're given just enough space to be able to do so. The diffuser still dropped in the background, so someone from the attack will have to go back to grab that, just in case we hit a situation in the round where the plant becomes the win condition. Still grenades to be thrown out, but the rest of this defense has fallen away now. So they're back on the bottom floor. 50 seconds still to play with here for the Goats on their assault. So there's lots of opportunities for them with the sledge back in play as well to start applying some verticality, using the hammer to try and spot any members out. To be a little bit wary of the Nitrocell still in the pocket of Spac, which they will use to try and net themselves a free kill if they can. The hole's being watched vigilantly, but you're seeing a great job from Little Lima, making sure he's not standing in the same place for too long. Avoid the destruction.
Jackal coming out. Trying to find the pick here. Jaff just spraying, hopefully getting a kill. Unfortunately doesn't. ZK takes one down. That's Jaff gone. Hits a teammate, unfortunately. 2v1. 2v1. 1v1 now.
And cowering behind a wall.
Yeah, no time, unfortunately. Maybe should have won that round had the disconnect not happened, though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But you know what? They did a good job considering that hurdle they had to jump over to get the kills back. You know, they drew it back to the 3-3, getting hit out by the Frostmat obviously didn't help in that situation, but still a good showing from the Goats here and still doing a great job just to sort of keep pace with Swans, right? Swans coming off of a fantastic opening game last week, 7-1 win. You know, you're looking at them to really be putting a lot of pressure on. The Goats are doing a great job of sort of eating into that and then still finding ways back into these rounds. And that's really nice to see because I think it's something that they kind of lacked a little bit last season. If something went wrong, things very quickly just went completely downhill. The changes have really worked out for them, I think.
Yeah, I think might just be the composure from these new players helping them out this season.
I think also, right, is you get more experience, right? Like you have a whole season before, you kind of learn the ropes of competitive Siege, you get your foot in the door, you come back again after a bit of downtime to sort of regroup, and then back in for a season, right? It really just helps, and you can see very quickly why players develop as quickly as they do, and how quickly players can learn and adjust to these competitive environments. And that's all. I think that's the best thing about events like this, right? Is players are given the time to properly grow and adjust to these situations, and especially when you have strong talent like the Swans to go up against, it's one of those situations where you're just going to learn so quickly. It's a little bit sink or swim, but because it's a league, you're not actually sinking. It's like you sink temporarily and then you like slowly float back up through the rest of the weeks, and then you get another chance of taking them on in a couple months' time.
Yeah, I think obviously taking a few losses last season could have hurt them, but with these new players, not showing too much of a difference here. 5-3, sorry, in the score.
Yeah.
Last round, potentially it could have been 4-4 had the disconnect not happened.
It could have been 4-4, even with the disconnect, right? And sometimes that's what's the most heartbreaking thing, right? Is when you have a really good round it comes really close, and you were sort of fighting over another hurdle, which was that disconnect. But I think the
Yeah,
Goats have a good lifeline here, right? There's still opportunities for them in these rounds. And the thing that I'm loving to see the most is that they are willing to take these gunfights into the likes of Vabs. They're walking up to him, they're looking for engagements. But sometimes you'll see teams when a player's just really on fire, they just back away so much.
yeah. Well, Vabs has been popping off today quite a lot. I think he's near 9 or 10 kills now, which is absolutely huge. Getting massive picks just every round. Here's Polar back in the game now.
Well, with everyone back in, we might be ready to hit the go button. As well, still the preparation phase, of course. Master bedroom looking like the most likely site, on the site that's going to be locked in for the defense. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. Still seeing that Azami coming in for Matty, so again, expecting these positions to be reinforced with keepers rather than with the deployable shields. It does mean you could be a lot more adaptable, and especially with, you know, the position of Piano being as high traffic as it is, if utility is invested to get past ADSs and then blow up the keeper, and you just throw another one there, it's mentally taxing to the attack, right? Because you've done all this work, invested this utility to make a position assaultable, only to have to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, we can see the ADS is there from our Jaeger, putting them in next to Piano, making sure that they don't get taken down whilst they're playing on there.
Extension coming out on the roam as well, using a bit of Deagle for reconstruction. Still a very aggressive lineup for the most part, right, though. You've got Vabs on the Jaeger, Die, spawn peeking with the P10 Roni, just trying to make sure the Goats are well aware of the fact that they will die quickly if they're not careful. As they're just taking a little bit of time approaching the building. A stray shot will catch the Zofia off guard, but well, actually going to go back, readjust their approach, come from a slightly different angle, just to avoid any more oncoming damage.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play there, waiting back. You can't lose a player that early on into the round. It's just not worth peeking at all. Obviously taking half the damage. Nice shell goes out, unfortunate not to find a kill though.
Die is playing very aggressively here, and that's why you want to use something like the Ying to be able to stun them out, trying to look for an opportunity to push in. The hatch is open, but there's no one actively playing it. So that does give you the opportunity to move in off of these Candelas. Instead, Die able to fall back to the next line of defense and holding a very cheeky, very tight angle here. Bible falling off the balcony is going to have to be picked up. Lose a little bit of health there, but more importantly, you stay alive. So I think, you know, worse for wear, but still functional, still has the utility, and with Die going down from a lovely shot from mezzanine balcony, I want to say, that's a great start for the attack here. Vab's in very close proximity, able to retake up this position, and is going to do so, getting the kill onto Zen, taking down the Ying, and now they have to find another way to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Ying leaving the squad there. Unfortunate. Great pick though. 4 versus 3. 3 versus 3 now. Looking very dangerous. Bible holding inside. Matty just cautious of that barrier. Comes the MP nades.
Can he get the impact trick off here on the breach? Able to get at least one set. The other half of the wall still going to be opened up to a vaultable hole, using that Kiba very swiftly, just to make sure that if you want to come into sight, you're at least going to have to deal with this first, be that through punching it or the investment of an explosive. Either one you'll take from the side of Matty, if you're being completely honest, and now just fully closing it off. Again, shutting off the angle, buying a little bit of time, still playing around the breach, and nets himself a kill as we have another disconnect from Zen, already dead, so not going to matter in this round, as swinging onto the breach, going to get himself a second. Matty looking for the triple here, gets turned around, ZK jumping through the window, gets the first, got to be careful here, tight with the SMG-11, the air jab coming through, and that is going to be Spac's prompt to fall back to Piano. Gonna have to break down the Kiba if they want to progress through, but the diffuser dropped in the middle of the corridor. It leads ZK to want to go that way instead, take the opportunity to the left. Tight angle being held by the shotgun. Will have to try and jostle around with this, and immediately gets swung. Started that reload animation, cancelled it, so you only have one bullet left in the magazine, Jude. And that's going to be all the opportunity Spac needs to take the swing.
Yeah, unfortunately the bomb is down on the floor. Not much they can do there. having to wait. And hopefully one of them will swing. Unfortunately, don't. Time was not enough. Therefore, basically impossible to win unless they got 2 headshots. But they knew not to swing until the last moment, which was smart play by the defenders of Swans.
Yeah, with another disconnect, we're having just a touch more downtime in between here, just to get us back on track. And you know what? That's okay. It happens. Shouldn't be too long, hopefully. But so far, good job by the Swans, just eating into the aggression, able to very, very manageably deal with this attack. Fantastic little bit of play by Matty on the half wall, just to get very aggressive at the right time, net himself the double kill, and that was really the end of the lifelines from the Goats, right? Because from that point onwards, you're left in the 1 versus 3, does get the pick onto Matty, who got a little bit aggressive by the breach. But Swans are doing a very good job to slowly fall back away from the attack. I'm still liking the willingness to take gunfights, though, because they are dealing with Vabs and Dai, who are playing so in their face. It's finishing that through. That's the last step is the issue for them.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that. The last step is the issue for them.
What's the change then? Jude, what do they need to do to figure out how to jump that last hurdle?
Well, I think obviously keeping the Ying intact would be very, very useful, because the Ying going down straight away in that round meant there was basically no form of entry for them.
Yeah, that hurt, right? And you're jumping into the window. I guess I know you're not expecting Vabs to be right in the same position Dai just died. But that's where droning comes into play, right? You can take a little bit of a downtime. You get the first pick. I know you want to move in quickly, but it's making sure your information before you jump through. Okay, we got the pick onto Dai. Okay, well, I'm on the window. I'm holding off mezzanine. I can make sure no one walks back in from this way. We just got to be careful of the staircase. Can someone drone it quickly? If these sort of things start to happen, we're seeing when they are just taking the free gunfights, they can come out on top. When they're putting the pressure in, they're doing a great job at boxing out members of Swansea. It's just a little bit more information, and like you mentioned, we see those leads transition and last a little bit longer. That would be brilliant to see. I think the Goats have really got the starts of their rounds to a very comfortable position now.
Yeah, always getting a bit of damage off straight away at the start of the round with the spawn peaks. We've seen that in the past 2 rounds. Someone, I think it was Bible, fell off the roof, which is hurting them, obviously taking only, I believe, 30 HP left, which means a one-shot for most weapons, which not great position to be in at the start of a round.
Yeah, that's ultimately what led to them falling so quickly, right? It was a loose bit of spray fire that sort of catches them on an aggressive swing. You don't have the opportunity to retaliate if any bullet hits you. You know, there's not that lifeline where if they swing through you and miss, or they get a little bit of chip damage onto you but not finish off the kill. Like when you're 1 hit from death, that 1 hit kills you. That's what it literally means, 1 kill from dying, right? It's not an advanced concept, but now setting up again with this above hold because it's for the site below. No shield on the alibi. Sad. We lost it. We have to move on with these things, but still rocking it because it's just a very strong aggressive operator. And when you have Matty again on 11 kills as well, Vabs on 12, the 2 of them doing bits in this game, I feel like it's the appropriate way to say this. It'll be interesting to see what the Goats' start is here. Going for the standard. Going to clear out the rest of the far side of the site, get through the building, start applying that pressure on towards the site. A little bit more grouped up than Swansea were, but I think that's good. For the Goats, I think that's what's needed.
Yeah, here we go. The droning, for once, coming into play. Going to be very cautious. They know it's 6-3. 1 round is all they need to lose, and that's a game over. Gonna try and... There we go. Red pin coming in. No other Solaces. Can try and get more information, though.
Great way to isolate the first pick. Dai inside of West Main is obviously going to be a little bit cautious of as well, but walks straight up. They don't check the right-hand side of the corridor. Little Lima gets injured out by the alibi. It'll be Dai who finishes off the kill. Zen moving down the staircase in swift time to be able to grab 1 kill back. Vabs looking to try and punish the ace, gets shut down instead. So despite this opening flurry, I was about to say it comes out even. And it still will. Zen on a triple kill here. A man on a mission to make sure this round comes home for them. Still sweeping out the top floor, now having full control of it. The health advantage in the hands of the attack. Matty did get that kill onto Little Lima, but the Oaks are able to get enough shots back to at least force this Alibi into a compromised position. The spread coming through. Smack looking for this Nitro Cell kill, but Ace droning in a safe position and isn't going to get caught out by anything silly in this round. You said it before, match point for the Swans here, so the Goats need to be very careful towards, and you can see the drones coming out just to make sure of that. They don't want to put themselves in a position where they're losing their lives unnecessarily.
Yeah, they got 50 seconds left on the clock here. Enough time to potentially get one pick and then get the plant down. Zen, just being careful of the stairs. Swinging together. Trying not to lose a life here.
They've removed the Kiba, but do they know? Do they know about Matty lurking in the corner of Library? Doesn't look like they're... Well, as I say that... Nope. Is he going to walk in? Is he going to stay back? Decisions to make here. He's going to run in, try and open the hatch up inside. Doesn't know. He hasn't checked for the Alibi and is going to get shot down. The diffuser dropped above. Still the 2 versus 1. Countland has to go back upstairs and try and fight Matty, who's now just still hiding in the corner, challenging the doorway, grabs the last kill required. The Swans able to see through the victory here, Jude, in the opening game of the day.
Yeah, you got to give it to Matty. They're holding that angle absolutely beautifully. Gets the first pick, and then, of course, almost no time left. Has to run for the diffuser. And, of course, Matty finds the second pick to win the game for the Swans.
Crediting the laptop there for the 15 kills dropped this game. And you know what? You love to see it, given the given the respect to the laptop. But, I mean, still a good game for the Goats, right? Yeah, they lost to Swansea. I feel like you're supposed to lose to the Swans in the nicest way possible. We saw a couple teams really give them a challenge. It was the Pirates notoriously fighting for the win in the last playday. But the Swans coming out on top, last season's champions. The rosters stayed basically the same, right? The same core 4-5 players. Always going to be the sort of the team to beat, the favorite coming into any game they play. So to really take it to them, and I said it so many times, but especially willing to take just very comfortable gunfights against Iron Babs. Great to see.
Yeah, 7-3. Obviously not the result they wanted. However, I think pretty strong result considering you're playing against the champions of last season. You're maybe not expecting to win that many.
Yeah.
Had you gone into it with a poor mindset. But obviously, 3 rounds, considering the technical difficulties, I think they did pretty well.
And also could have won more, right? Like, there's a couple of these rounds where an unfortunate disconnect, a kill going just slightly the wrong way, a last-minute execute that they couldn't quite pull off. You know, the 3 versus 3, they lose Zen in the round already, so you're kind of playing from that deficit, still able to push through the top floor. A couple of these situations, if they go slightly differently, we see this round drag out, this game drag out in a couple of these rounds to 7-5 scoreline even, right? And at that point, you're threatening overtime against Swans. You can be very happy with that. I think, genuinely, solid performance from the Goats. I'm looking forward to seeing them take on another team that isn't going to be able to punish as much with just very strong individual play. A couple of these rounds kind of saved themselves through Vabs and through Matty just getting a lot of kills.
Yeah, I think next game we'd hope to see a bit more droning, as that's where they lacked quite a lot of, actually, I believe, in that last game. Had they droned a bit more, potentially taking a few more rounds, getting a closer score, maybe even winning the game.
Well, that is our first game concluded. We have one more game for you this evening, which will be the Robins taking on return guest. It's going to be the Goats back again, so we'll get to follow them a little bit longer tonight, just to see how their next game goes on. But before we jump into that, we are going to jump to a short break to give a little bit of downtime to the teams after their last games. But don't go anywhere. We'll catch you very, very shortly after this short break.
can tell myself I'm better off without you. I can tell myself I'm better off alone. But I tell myself that no one cares, and I'll keep keeping on. 'Cause sometimes I wonder why I care. Yeah, yeah, yeah. change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. You are the devil, you change like the weather. I am my own enemy. You are the devil. Oh, you change like the weather. I am my own enemy. You are the devil. Yeah. Shed your skin, a bit of everything. Kill my bed, but still see seconds. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. A knife in my back, a smile on your face. Keeping words in good faith. I'm stuck. I couldn't be the only one. Yeah, I couldn't be the only one. Oh, you're not fooling anyone with that disguise. Will you believe I still see snake eyes? Well, shed your skin, a bit of everything. Kill my bed, but still see snake eyes. Tell myself
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Welsh Esports League Season 2 for Rainbow6 Siege. We just had our first game of the evening. The Goats lost 3-7 to the Swans. A somewhat expected outcome, but now they're back for round number 2 to have a crack at a slightly different team. This time, another bird, but it's going to be the Robins. So, I mean, Jude, what's your experience with this? Which bird's a bit scarier, the Robin or the Swan?
I'm gonna have to say the Swan. I'm not gonna lie. Bit scary. Would not
So,
let one of those brunch me.
So 7-3 against the Swans. Expectations coming in for this game against the Robins now?
I reckon it'd be a close one, because putting off 7-3 performance against the Swans, that's quite impressive after losing pretty much every game last season. So I'm gonna say 7-6. No, not that close. 7-5 to the Goats.
Goats to take it then is the call from Jude. And I mean, where else would you want to see a classic matchup than the most classic of Siege maps? It's going to be an Oregon that we're treated to today. And I mean, get your jokes out in the chat. Go for it. Oregon, we've seen it. Sure. But especially for the Goats coming in, who we just watched on Chalet, a map where they'll be tested a little bit more on their fundamentals. If they can really pull together some of the pushes we started to see towards the end of Chalet, at trying to catch off single lone players from the side of the Swans, if they can translate that over and try and deal with the Robins' roam early on in this game, that's going to be a great foundation for them to try and claim some points back in the season. The Robins are going to be our team starting on defense, though, so it'll be interesting to see how that changes things up a touch.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more droning this game from the Goats, as last game, bit lackluster. Obviously, as you said then, with the roaming, gonna have to be careful of that with the drones, of course. Try not to get taken down easily. And hopefully find themselves some picks. Try and win the game for themselves.
Jackal banned out early on, so the immediate thing that this screams to me, right, Jude, is just we want to roam. We want to have some presence off of the site. We want to be a bit of a nuisance. We want to cause some problems. And it's interesting to see the Brava get banned out by Goats immediately afterwards. What's your take on Brava so far?
I think she's pretty powerful, to be honest. Obviously, if the opposition has a cap can, you can hack those. And that's pretty much a free kill, as they won't be expecting the hacked cap cans.
Yeah, the killing someone with their own cap can, definitely a little bit satisfying. The Cade taken away by the Goats, they're the team starting on the attack. It makes sense, right? You don't want to deal with the claws. We saw the Goats run the Cade themselves. The Swans elected for other tools for wall denial. But it makes sense. You get access to the breaches into the site. You don't have to worry about hatches when attacking into the basement as well, which can really help speed up some of your attacking lineups. I think that's going to be very important, keeping good pace for the Goats here. The mirror to round out the ban phase, to be expected here.
Yeah, we know how strong mirror is on this map. Basically impossible to get past. Obviously a great ban for the Goats to not be able to play against a mirror. And the starting first 6 rounds.
This is an interesting lineup, immediately coming out from the Robins. It's been a while since I've seen the classic Doc Rook combination, the tag team coming in from France. You're pairing that with then the Legion and the Warden, so I'm just seeing a lot of early aggression to come through. You're looking at this site, it's not the top floor, it's not dorms, it's not down in the basement with laundry. They're going dining kitchen off the rip.
I was expecting a second floor straight away, I'm not going to lie. But we can see how this plays out for them.
Also reinforcing fully off the showers, as well as double reinforcing the wall into security, where you'd see a lot of teams often try to put a rotation there to give them some sort of spread out horizontal approach. Also reinforcing off the hatch above, and with no looks of an extension up to hold above, this is looking to be quite an interesting setup coming out from the Robins here, who are very much focused on playing comfortably inside of sight. I do worry a little bit about how much space is being given to the Goats just throughout the rest of this map so early on.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone actually roaming, which is giving so much space to the Goats to have map control, which could be absolutely lethal. Here comes Bible, droning, that's what you love to see. Making sure no one is waiting up there to kill him. Finds out he's safe, can enter the building.
But this is the other thing, though, is right, as well, right? Like, it doesn't matter how little you roam if it takes your opponent a long time to drone and they're checking everything meticulously anyway. The air jab already coming out to make sure no one can push up tower, but with Zen already in a position by Zulu, making sure no one's walking down the corridor, meeting being droned out now as well, I feel like they're going to be pretty comfortable to start taking some control.
Yep, here they come through Attic, trying to get some space. Looking to potentially breach this wall here. Claymore down, make sure no one comes in on the flank.
A bit of damage into the dock as well. I think that's through the drone hole. And with the explosives being used above now, gives the option for the defense, it's going to be Falxy, to hold a vertical angle. Bible in Attic as well, though, so an opportunity for them to come through and start cleaning out the top floor. JM, the subs coming in from the last game, getting the opening kill for them. Falxy able to finally finish off ZK, but with 2 more quick kills coming in for the Robins. Yes, the Goats had a strong initial starting position, but it didn't really matter. Zen punishing the over-aggression from the dock, still aware of the presence of the Wamai upstairs inside of Attic. That's going to be the next challenge for them, and it's Zen who's gone by themselves to try and deal with it.
Fortunate enough to get a kill out on Falxy. Great holding though. JM by himself now. 3 versus 1 scenario. Got to be careful of everywhere. He knows somebody could be waiting or potentially flanking.
Has taken a decent bit of damage, which means you have to play just a little bit more cautiously than you otherwise might want to. The Legion pushing up through Zulu. They walk into the sightlines. This will be a massive opportunity for the Ace, but instead backing away with 30 seconds on the clock. You just know, with 5 goo mines in pocket as well, you need to throw some of those out just to give yourself that extra sort of assistance in closing out this round. Just a couple bullets to find the final kill here, and JM doesn't have Diffuser. That's been dropped upstairs. There's not enough time to go and grab it, so you're looking at just committing to pushing through the site, trying to find these final kills. Gets the first one. Looking for 2 more. Legion's the next in close proximity. Able to get that as well. JM on a triple kill, but there's only 4 seconds left in the round. Jude and Falxy very happy to sit comfortably away in a corner on the top floor. There's no chance you're going to be able to hunt them down. No chance for you to grab that final kill. The Patience wins the defense the opening round.
Yeah, once again, losing the diffuser. It's cost them a few rounds. It's just unfortunate, really. They have to make sure they don't lose the diffuser in order to try and win the rounds, because in that scenario, it's impossible to win. If one is waiting upstairs on the diffuser,
yeah,
you can't do anything. Not enough time to kill everyone.
Yeah, it's exactly that, right? You just run out of time, you're forced to try and fight for these kills, and it was the Goats having this strong initial start, getting the space. There wasn't a lot of control off of site being set up by the Robins and getting themselves into the position inside of meeting. But when there's so little presence in dorms above, it just makes it more important to make sure you are properly addressing that issue. And we didn't see that happen. We didn't see drones get committed down. Instead, we saw just this slow trickle from the members of the Goats. We saw first Bible and then Zen, both trying to clear out a little bit of space for themselves, neither doing a good enough job to cement it. And it led to 2 quick kills going over to the Robins. It led to threats coming in from the sides of meeting. Ultimately led to players losing their life unnecessarily and the attack sort of fizzling.
Yeah, exactly as you just said there. I think they're taking a little bit too long on the attacks here. They got to speed up because they always run out of time. And that could be due to dying very quickly in the round. So they got to be cautious of every single angle they peek. Find the Malusi close left here.
Air jab coming in just to make sure the flanks aren't going to be exposed this time around. We did see it last time as well, but always good to have that sort of recurring lineup to the core. Bana moving in very swiftly and just getting these hatches open. So again, another swift start for the Goats, getting some of the key parts of the attack you really want to piece together done very early. Countland taking a little bit of chip damage in the foot from Falxy, getting aggressive inside of E-Box, but now the hatch has been opened above. With Bible watching it, you have to be cautious. The overexposed leg from Moon is going to lead to the opening kill going in favor of the Goats, and now with E-Box Breach being exposed from outside a bunker as well, the attack very quickly putting themselves in very close proximity to the setup.
Yeah, with the Hibana breaching those hatches there, that could be very costly, as we just saw there. 1 kill. But hopefully, they'll be able to defend this better. Another hatch going down.
I tried to get a little bit aggressive there, but decided not to commit to it. With both Zen and Bible close on split door, you don't want to engage in a sort of 2v1 if you get that trade out. Sure, but with most of Hibana's job already done with excess hard breach in the form of JM, who's now also opening up elbow, this attack is looking in a really good position to try and consolidate on this lead. Aware of potential players inside of Laundry, inside of Freezer as well. So just setting themselves up in positions here, moving in with the Talon 8 and deploying that in this position is great. That is going to be able to put themselves in for the plant, and that's exactly what you're seeing. The Toxic Babe coming out, forcing the attack just to stall out a little bit longer, but with Polar pushing down through blockers, gets one, is traded out by Jai, but Bible just right behind them, able to grab the double. The Doc injured out, Stims finished off with the pistol as the plant is finished off. Dolphin in a very awkward spot here now in the 1 versus 4 to try and find something, but let's be real, the Goat setup just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I think pretty good play from the smoke there to deny the plant originally. However, taking quite a hit there. Everyone just dying one by one. Unfortunately, he's in a 4v1. Can't do anything about that with the plant down.
It was great use with the utility as well, right? They're bringing the Osa, they're setting themselves up correctly to put down for the plant. There's a good use of the Nomads to prevent any potential rotations. There's Argus cameras coming in from Bible on that 0, just to spot out any information or have the cameras in spots where you're going to be able to catch out any roamers that are trying to flank on you. So a really, really good job by the Goats to put themselves in these strong positions. I would like to see the Robins take a more... Just add a little bit more complexity to their defenses. I feel like they're giving a lot to the Goats for very little reason. There's no need for all 5 members to be sat downstairs in the basement. There's no need to not be contesting as hard on the early approach. And I mean, we saw the last round, right, Jude? It wasn't difficult for the Goats to start immediately putting pressure into basement within the first minute of the round.
Well, yeah, they just simply gave too much space upstairs, letting everyone just take out the hatches, and obviously with the hatches gone, you've got to be careful from above, which is going to lead them to potentially dying as they're playing out of position. Fortunately, they're there with the Kiba barrier not being able to place on the stairs. Luckily picks it up though.
It's a nice attempt, right? You just try and get it in, try and gather as much as you possibly can. JM getting that drone into bunker in a nice position as well, where it's just able to spot out a lot of the key utility, and with the shield placed by Countlan, I mean, you're always going to have this kind of commanding angle watching down, always able to fight back somehow. Smoke holding tight with the shotgun though, is going to back away. Decides better than hang around too long.
Yeah, they did spot him on the drone, so they know to be careful of elbow. Is ZK on the Nomad going downstairs, trying to find an angle.
Got the kill here last time, and now with the ace opening up E-Box as well, Countland in a much more powerful position, despite having changed nothing themselves, just to completely clear Falxy off the back of the pillar, still trying to challenge out the doorway very aggressively. So far, playing this angle very carefully.
Going to reinforce over on elbow there, because they know they cannot defend this, not to give them any space on elbow. Asking for a bandit to be placed.
Stuns will be the final nail required to clear out pillar completely. A little bit of damage done onto Dolphin, which is, you know, a good start. If you can get that smoke down, you prevent the Toxic Babes being deployed later on in the round. And with Bible and Zen once again sort of teaming up together to try and find an opening in the defense. Now starting to apply that pressure on the Laundry staircase. This defense is so crammed in. All 5 members within just a small couple steps away from each other. the attack just slowly boxing them into their own site.
Had we have seen someone roaming upstairs, maybe this would have been a different situation for the Robins. Been able to get a flank going on, but unfortunately all boxed in. Valkyrie trying to take it out.
Ooh.
Got 2 on him.
Flashbangs coming through. Ooh! Got the goo in the hand, but it doesn't matter. Able to pull it out behind the cupboards. ZK walking down the back staircase, walking down highway. JM grabs another 1 versus 5 situation for Vivi, who will say bye-bye as Bible just walks through and grabs that final kill for them, Jude.
I think that was pretty poorly defended. I think it's not... They're giving them too much space, and then they get boxed in, and then they just take on that. The GOATs, well played to them for that round.
It's difficult as well, right? Because, yeah, there's not a sort of spread out approach from the Robins. We saw at the end there, they have 1 in the back of lockers, and the rest are all sort of bunched up around the laundry rotate. There's not really anywhere for them to go. So the GOATs pick 2 angles. They walk down from bunker and the rear stairs. They're walking down from laundry. And they start to throw in the flashbangs. They start to use this utility to force uneven gunfights. You just see how quickly the kills go, because there's nowhere to fall back to. There's nowhere to set up these crossfires with. Whereas if we have a little bit more setup done to give them control or space to play inside of lockers, if they have more angles set up inside of the supply closet to be able to challenge back to laundry, they can start to pick and choose the fronts they want to fight on.
Yeah, let's see how they decide to play this round, if they are going to roam, or they're going to play close on site again. We'd like to see a roam. Got a cap gun placed down on the front door.
Oh, and a
Frost
cheeky
up to
little
catch
Frost.
someone off guard there.
Yeah.
If they get in that room, get taken down by Frost. Nice play there. Got 2 going down actually. Potentially going to kill the person going to the revive. Let's see what happens.
It's a bold investment, I'll give them that. If it works out for them, hilarious. Don't get me wrong, I would be very happy to see a double Frostmat kill. Don't think it's very likely. I'm sure this will get thrown out. If you see a deployable shield put into a completely reinforced off room.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit bait doing that. But we'll see if it does happen and pay off. And look to try and enter from attic here.
Just double air jab, make sure you're safe, make sure you're secure. They have the ability to have the Maverick now open up the breach. You then get the Sledge to open it up after a Maverick trick. Great stuff. They are going to invest the first Selma on the deployable shield. That should prompt them to see, well, to see these frost mats. But one Selma fails to land on the wall, and it's going to net a quick swing from Mr. Moon, who takes down JM UK. Do get a kill onto the Frost in the meantime. So not for nothing, but the Selma's gone now.
Bible with a nice angle here, just in case anyone comes. Place down the drone as bait. No one's there though to swing.
Get another
TK.
example.
Going for the nade there.
Another example, though, of the Robins just all being inside of sight, giving so much space to the GOATs to be able to walk around pretty freely. They do have Dolphin, as I say that, actually, just on that flank, trying to come up the back towers, but with the double Nomad air jab, they should be in a strong enough position to be able to deal with this. The jump in, giving them a control now of Armory, just making sure it's all clear before starting to mount control over Trophy. Pit comfortably in the hands of Countland, though, who's just been able to walk pretty freely. The flank, the air jab is going to get shot out. They should hear it. The Tracer's narrowly missing the head of the Nomad.
Fortunately, maybe they could have taken a little bit extra time just to line up that headshot, because I don't think they knew. 3 versus 3, ZK takes down Sub.
And Moon coming through the breach to try and catch off the attack, gets punished by Zen, puts them down to the 2 versus 3 situation. It's going to require a little bit more aggressive play from Jai, who's willing to take the angle. Falxy caught off in rotation as well, so the last member alive is the Legion. Has to try and clutch up a 1 versus 3, getting tagged up from the breach. The plant moving into position, but Bible just standing in the open. ZK able to swing in pretty quickly to finish off the round, but things could have gotten out of hand there.
Yeah, ZK with a huge flank there. Finds 2 enemy combatants to take down. That's absolutely incredible play. Had they have maybe played a little bit safer and smarter, could have potentially prevented that. However, got to give it to them. ZK, very low on HP, still going for the risky plays, and the plays do work.
And now we're at a point in the game, right, where you've already hit those 3-round attacking round wins for the side of the Goats. If you can finish this half, you've still got 2 more rounds to play, right? You're looking at a 4-2 half time. Brilliant. You move on to your Oregon defense. If they can find a way to push this to a 5-1, dude, that's still potential for them here. And the setup coming in from the side of the Robins isn't all that different. There's no Frost this time, sure. They've invested a little bit more in the healing side of things with the Doc and the Thunderbird coming through. To me, if you're running the Thunderbird and the Doc, you have to be playing very aggressively. You have to play with the knowledge that you can heal in the back of your mind at all times. Any trade you take, any gunfight, any damage, any chip damage you can get on your opponents is just a build-up, constant advantage falling in your favor, because you can fall back to the Kona stations. You have the stims, which even if you get injured out, you can grab, you can be okay with.
Yeah, I think quite a strong lineup there. Being able to play that aggressive play could enable them to find a few picks, which they may not be able to get in the previous rounds.
It's great to have it, but they need to actually play off of it. If we see 5 members sitting around site again, I mean, Falxy was on a flank underneath the site, but, you know, if they're still at their core bundled up around the objective, they're not going to get the advantage out of being able to fall back to these stations. They might get a use of it in the middle of a gunfight, which will sustain them, but it's not going to be that constant advantage that it should be leading to. There's 2 Selmas thrown up onto the main breach to give that access to the attack very early on, standing in a more cautious position, Zen waiting for the swing. Last time it was Mr. Moon, this time it's Jai. Jai does not get the same sort of success.
Yeah, I think maybe could have pre-fired there, expecting... Well, he knew there was at least the ace there. Bit dangerous to peek at, I think. Although they do have the heals, so he did maybe back himself in that fight.
But you can't heal from nothing.
No, he cannot.
Reviving is not a thing. No mercy in this game. ZK watching underneath on the Maverick holes. It's made to give support to this position so that Countlin is free to try and continue the work. But with the breach open up, JM able to net a second kill for the attack here. Mr. Moon find themselves in a slightly more aggressive position, just creeping up on the barricade, now going prone behind the foosball table. Should be able to give a little bit of information. Ooh, nice little throw, but doesn't quite succeed in destroying the bulletproof camera. Can get it from the side, but do they know that Moon is just prone on the sidelines? They see him from the window, Jude.
Absolutely perfect play there. Find the enemy lying down on the floor, and here comes the plant now.
Nitro Cell. Is it available? No, it's already been used up this round, so no way to deny the plant. It goes down, and the timer flipping against the defense now underneath on the angle. ZK gets the final kill, and not only do they win another attacking round, they win it flawlessly this time.
Yeah, I think, once again, recurring theme, the space. They're giving so much space. They're not playing as aggressively, I think, as I'd like them to. Having people roaming would have been useful as well.
Yeah, that definitely would have helped them out, right? Just having a... it's difficult, because it's not even the case of roaming. I think the issue here is that we're not seeing the same sort of utility game coming out from the Robins that we would see from teams like the Goats or like Swans, right? You see how much these teams invest in operators that can give a lot of sustainability. Jaegers, Wamais, Azamis. That same sort of thing isn't happening. And we're seeing these setups are a little bit more fundamental, a little bit more basic as a result of that. And the Goats, they're a team that have the experience in the roster. They know what they're doing, right? This is the sort of thing that you see in ranked you can very comfortably overcome. And you're seeing exactly that happen. They're spreading themselves out, which is what we wanted to see a little bit more in their last game. They're getting information flowing between the members, and they're using that to punish individual members of the Robins who aren't being set up in ways by the rest of their team to be able to take these gunfights and challenge back against the attack. And you just see the slow catching off credit to the GOATs for doing a great job exposing this weakness, but I'd like to see the Robins just find a way to adjust that. If they're going to play a very utility lacking or hard, no deployable shields, no Keybers from these army, then I want to see them playing more fluidly off of the site to make up for that.
Yeah, this is strong position here. Gets found out about on the drone though. Knows there's enemy open to swing. Can't take him down unfortunately though.
It's going to fall back. A couple shots coming through, but that's both of ZK's drones down. They've already destroyed 4 drones this game, or this round, so that's a great start for them. And with Jai getting a double kill early on, you can't ask for much more than that. You take down JM, you take down Countland, so your Osa, your Thatcher, they're the 2 that are gone, makes getting the hard breach open a lot more difficult. It also makes maintaining control into meeting harder without the Talon 8, and they're just going to continue to challenge Jai, who's found his lifeline in this round. Bible still looking to put that pressure up towards Attic and clear out the rest of this top floor. Now the rotation's coming through, player moving into pit to deny it. Still conscious of a flank potential though, as Jai narrowly avoiding the line of sight, as Falxy gonna match a double kill of their own. Gonna make it a triple to see the round off, and the Robins bouncing back in flawless fashion for the final round.
It's exactly what we need to see there on defense. Bit poor, bit lackluster on the other rounds. But there we go, there's the final round. They needed to win that to feel a little bit more secure going into the attacking rounds now.
Side swap time. This is where things become a little bit more concerning, however, because you're looking at the GOATs, the lineup coming through, pretty sort of standard stuff, right? The Tachanka coming in, this seems to be their response to Smoke losing his shield. Okay, you get Tachanka, you have a similar functioning gadget. The Fire does that aerial denial, plant denial that you'd want with a Smoke. You also get that deployable shield. It's still going to be the SMG, but you got Countline on the Mute, who has the shotgun, can do the reconstruction that you would want typically on that Smoke. So they're able to make up for that, and I mean, the setup I'm expecting to be somewhat standard. You got Mute Jammers positioned on the doorway to prevent any Flores drones, or just drones in general, right? Gathering that information. ADSs set up on elbow to protect the shield, and Polar Zen playing in this position to slow down the attack. The question for me is, do we see them spread out a little bit more than we saw from their counterparts, the Robins, on their defense of the base?
We'll see at least one person, maybe the Wamai, roaming around a little bit. See straight away here what's going to happen.
The Flock coming through. All want that action in small tower. The question is, are they ready for Bible to be waiting around the corner? Oh, the drones come through and spotted him. This is death, surely. Very efficient, very quick kill for the Robins, who are just storming their way over towards Freezer Stairs now.
Great start there. Rushing together as a team, using the drones very well. Can try and open up now through the hatches, using Buck's ability.
Still one more player up at the bottom of a big tower, ready to push down green corridor. DMR in hand, gets droned out and is just going to back away. Has to be careful. The footholds made by themselves aren't going to be their death, and they're not going to challenge it. Falling back to the basement. You've lost a member. You've stalled out a minute. That's fine. The Habana should be able to start opening up some of these hatches now, or hard breach gadgets from the Buck. Defense now picking their positions. Where do they want to be when the assault comes through? Because as more and more gets opened up by the attack, it's going to become harder to rotate out.
Yeah, I think it's good dropping back there from the Aruni. Doesn't want to get picked off and make it a 5 versus 3. Because the Robins obviously in a pretty strong position here, open up every single hatch. They got a minute 30 on the clock, which is a fairly good amount of time here. Need to just make sure they can get a pick and try and take this round.
And with the drones coming through, that's what we need to see next. Spot where these defenders are playing before you make that final execute. The stun grenade just being dropped down through the laundry hatch. Just in expectation, the rotation to bunker working out amazingly for Falxy, who's able to grab another kill. There's that 5 versus 3 advantage that you're just saying they wanted to avoid, but they've just straight up blind walked into Countland, who's very quickly grabbed one of those kills back. 2 members still inside a bunker, but with the shield still standing, the burn still available, and the diffuser dropped in the middle of the corridor. This is an opportunity for the defense to get aggressive, and Zen gonna take down Jai walking down the back stairs, get aggressive on the breach as well, take another player down inside a bunker. There's still one more who's walking out, gets spotted, and finished off for a triple kill for the Tachanka. JM adjusting his line of sight, watching in towards Freezer as well as the camera giving that notification of the Bucks' presence to find the final kill. And what an adjustment made by the GOATs there.
I think it's a little bit sloppy there, walking into the smoke. He's waiting there, they don't expect it, lose the diffuser, and then, unfortunately for them, lose the round.
Everything kind of crumbles once they lost that initial kill because everything had to readjust. I'm surprised with how much space the attack had, right? The Robins, they had freezer access, laundry access, hatch into E-box, they can walk down the back stairs. You just need that little bit of presence outside bunker just to draw attention away, and it got them that pick as well, right? They took down ZK with it. So if you could take that control and then start to apply that pressure on all of those angles, in a 5 versus 3, or even 4, if you say, like, let's say they don't get the pick onto ZK, you can really start to push together, and that's where angles become available to you because members of the GOATs are forced to make decisions. And the more decisions you're forced to make, the higher the chances of making an incorrect decision. But instead, because they adjusted to have 3 players all move towards bunker, they lost a lot of the diversity of options that they had, that they'd set themselves up for. I think that's the mistake in the attack.
Yeah, they almost had the round won in a 5 versus 3, but obviously, as you just said then, making that play head in through construction site may not have been the smartest idea. Maybe a lack of droning again. Not seeing the smoke, waiting on the left on elbow to kill them.
Well, Zen grabbing the first kill from him. Fantastic start to the round, right? The attack starting to come in towards Armory and dealt with very swiftly. Proximity alarm will be shot out, as they still have this control over Armory, but investing a lot of hard breach utility from the Habana when they could just use the explosive in Jai's pocket.
Looking to try and enter here from Armory. ZK just holding an angle. Looking to get flashed. Gets flashed. Habana's trying to open up the wall a little bit more. We got Falksy there going on for a different angle.
JM able to get the pick onto Jai as well now, so things really starting to mount up against the Robins here, who will be looking to deny the GOATs hitting that match point if they win this round. Mr. Munch in the back of sight. Just found his way in through the big window, completely unchecked. The Nitro Cell from Countland gets that kill and shuts down a massive threat with the ace just in your back lines. Now with the main breach still closed off, only 2 Kairos pellets remaining. This round's looking a little bit bleak, but Falksy not giving up just yet. Gets the kill onto the Tachanka, who'd made their presence inside a pit known. A little bit of breach work being done, forcing JM back to White Stairs. No entry, but potential angle that could line up, could net themselves a kill.
You know that they are waiting in that little hole though. They're going to have to be cautious of it. Falksy just want to try and find another angle. Bible spots the opposition, takes them down, trying to find the second now.
Ooh, takes a hefty amount of damage from Falksy, looking towards the head height holes, but the spray's coming in a little bit too preemptively from the Thatcher. So they know to back away. 30 seconds left, but a lovely shot onto JM on White Stairs. Countman is behind, he's on the back staircase, but he's being watched and waited for. Falksy with a triple. The EMP being rolled under the doorway to take it out of action for 10 seconds. He has to move now, 11 on the clock in total. Which way does he go? To the door, to the rotation, lining up on the doorway, into the head height hold that Bible was waiting for. Catches him off. A very nice attempt from Falksy to try and drag that round back for the team. But it's the GOATs who come out on top, and the GOATs who push themselves to match point here, Jude.
Yeah, I think that was maybe not the greatest play there from the GOATs, feeding into the 1v1s every single time. But obviously, Bible holding the angle, knows there's no time left. They have to rush through here. and holds the angle perfectly and manages to capitalize on that and take the kill and win that round.
You're looking now at the attacking lineup coming through. The interesting thing to me is the addition of that Capital, an operator who, if you can pull in good utility, if you know what you're doing with it, oh, it's phenomenal, right? You can get so much value out of it, but you have to know what you're doing. It has to be placed well and timed accordingly. And the GOATs, now they've won those 2 defenses already, both on the basement first and then on Dawn's, going to have to go to the tertiary site. And they're going to meeting, not the dining that we saw from the Robins. So a little bit more spread out. And this is the site I personally would prefer to lean into, especially when you bring tools like the Echo to give yourself more coverage of the site. I think it's still one up for debate somewhat, but a little bit more comfortable in my books. Already you've seen JM as well extending out towards Shower just a little bit. Again, being this presence who's going to meet the attack very early on, just to give them queries, give them cause for concern, things that they have to be mindful of.
Well, the GOATs know if they win this round, the game is over. So they're going to try and potentially get a quick kill here. JM looking to get a kill, doesn't find one.
It's the sort of thing where if you can get it, right, you seal such an early advantage in the round for yourselves. There's a lot less pressure on you to now see things through. But the Yokai swinging around, trying to give this information, is going to spot out a drone, but nothing more. Just, again, I'm loving the use of the aggressive Yokais here. Spots one player on the doorway, is aware of a potential second, but ZK looking to try and challenge, wants to be a contender here, and gets a little bit of damage onto Falxy through the wall, but not enough to net them the opening kill.
Yeah, good usage for the Echo drone there. Potentially going to go for a stun here. Try and swing off of. Can't land the drone correctly, but can land the headshot onto the opposition, onto JM. That's the alibi down. Now looking, potentially hard breach. Here we go.
Selma opening up a bit of the wall, no impact to try and deny it or take it down. So you're going to see that access given over to the attack. A cheeky bit of droning being done by the buck up above to try and see what is safe to push through for Attic. So if they can get control of the hatch, it eliminates a lot of these forward positions that the defense are trying to hold on to the shield. So giving them a little bit of space for the time being, but now ZK has to be aware of players on both sides of his angles. One on the door, one on the main breach.
Maybe like to see ZK go a bit aggressive here and go for a swing around the left. Knows there's an enemy there. Seen the bullets come and kill his teammate.
A bit of pressure onto Split. That's going to force Zen back away. The swing from Falxy, though, who just seems unstoppable now, doing so much work for the team. Zen does get one, aware of the player pushing through Kitchen. But the fire trying to close off the angles. A lovely bit of spray through the wall. A nice educated guess with the comms coming through to get that final kill through. And just beautiful little bit of play there from So Bad. Dolphin, turns out he's pretty decent.
Yeah, I think very well played there from the attackers, being able to take the stairs there, making sure that no one can try and rush them, and obviously making him hold 2 angles at once. ZK was kind of screwed there, and of course they take advantage of it and take him down.
Well, still, match point. The Robins still need 3 more rounds to push us to overtime, let alone to actually see the win out completely. Is it doable? I don't know. It's back to the basement again, and great start. That's what we can say for the Robins. They pushed through, they got the opening pick. It was off of that horde charge through small tower, but it was led by drones, and that's what's important. If you have drones going through, you have players very close to those drones, the basic fundamentals will take you a long way in Siege. Consolidating on that. Finishing the advantage, that was the mistake.
Yeah. Taking the advantage quite a lot, but unfortunately not completely taking it and getting around this one.
No Habana this time, but, you know, with both the Buck and the Capital having access to those hard breach charges, you don't really need it to get access to the hatches, no Cade, so you can sort of There's nothing that should really be disrupting it. Maybe if someone's above and like shoots through the floor to take it out, but I feel like if you've not checked that out, that's the mistake there, not the operator or utility bringing. You've also seen a lot of Dolphins rocking this buck, clearly a big fan. Falxy going to be the player to very early rotate out towards bunker, so having this presence, or at least putting the threat of the presence there early on, is a good change, because last time it was quite a bit of time before we saw anyone enter that part of the map. And with Dolphin just clearing out this middle or the top floor, just making sure there's no roamers, no one going to catch them off late in the game when they don't want to be shot in the back. Again, good start for the Robins.
And one lying down on the floor there. Good usage of the drone. Going to be able to hopefully take a pick here. They don't know about him. There we go. That's Bible down. Good start to the round. Now she's going to take the hatch into meeting.
Another player in close proximity in the staircase, one by split as well. So plenty of players upstairs. The fire being used to prevent the swing while they get the hatch opened on up. Nice deal with cheeky use there. JM getting tagged up heavily. They should be aware of his presence now. One watching from the doorway outside to try and limit this threat, but Jai just does not care. He's just running around freely. It's going to lead to his teammate falling, though. Jai does get the pick onto ZK, who'd been moving up to try and reinforce JM's position. Now you've got to find a way to punish this Aruni for overextending.
Yeah, the Aruni's low on health. They know they've got to be careful here. They expect at least one person. They find the drone, expecting someone to rush them and potentially take them down. Gonna have to play carefully here.
The main thing is how much time is being eaten up by this. If one more kill goes down, and there it is, JM takes down Mr. Moon as well, looking for another, will eventually be shut down, but 3 versus 2 situation. You've still got the Tachanka on board with all 20 pellets from the Shamika launcher, so plenty of time denial available. And just punch out the camera to deny as much information as possible. Burning out the Saria gate with the smoke, dropping the second one down to give some support, protection from the drop. The Nitro Cell invested a bit preemptively from Countdown here. Is the flank coming in? They're just not expecting Zen in this position, who swings in, finds a double as well, and Countdown with the shotgun in the background. Dude, it's all over.
Well, Zen's positioning there, what can I say? Unbeatable. Weren't expecting it, and he takes advantage of it and finds 2 in order to win the round, and of course the entire game.
He just knew exactly where he needed to be at the end there to capitalize on the miss push. I mean, you've got to be gun ready in these kind of situations. There's no need to be sprinting down when you've got 40 seconds left on the clock. Really good showing from the Goats there, who, you know, after their first loss earlier today, bounce back, claim themselves the full 3 points, start to push themselves a little bit higher up through the standings. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's nice to see them not kicking themselves after last game, and obviously taking advantage in all those rounds there pretty much, and winning.
Yeah.
Also, obviously after yeah, after a 7-3 loss, obviously against the champions, it's not going to hurt as much, but still your mindset's going to go down a bit. You'll be like, oh, I don't know about playing anymore. Might lose because we got killed 7-3. But obviously that doesn't matter to them, and they can take the win.
And then you get to move on from that as well, right? You take the win, you bounce back. They put a lot of the mistakes that they made against the Swans, or things that got exposed by the Swans, and kind of flip that on their head. On the defensive end of things, they were much better at jumping at opportunities given to them by the Robins. And just, if someone overextended, they'd take the gunfight. They'd grab that kill and then consolidate by holding on to strong defensive positions. And these sort of things are really going to help them as the season expands. It's going to be hard for them now to catch Swan. But one game goes wrong for the Swans, if they can keep winning, keep gathering as many points as possible, you're looking at a real chance to try and push themselves up. Second place, still very much on the cards. And again, like I said, right, if we see a team come in, play upset, it throws that race back on.
Yeah, I think as you just said there, obviously taking a loss is not great, but they did learn from their mistakes and capitalized on those, and obviously made the plays and won.
Yeah, and if you can just take anything you learn from your games, add it to the next game immediately. There was a 10-minute break in between games. In those 10 minutes, they saw things like droning and having players pushing off of that information. So much better done from the GOATs here in this game against the Robins than it was in their prior matchup. And seeing how quickly they're willing to adjust and learn from their mistakes and come back again, you give them a whole week before their next game that they have to play. That's so much time for them to keep going. I'm really excited to see this GOATs team through the rest of the season. And look, the Robins, there were a couple of mistakes from them. I think some of their defensive setups could have been a little bit stronger. I think they gave a lot of space or just didn't have the setup to deal with a lot of pressure. The rounds that they won on their defensive end, you're looking at both meeting rounds they played, it was because they had players off of site applying that pressure. So when the push started to come through, there was players pushing in through kitchen doorway. You have a vertical angle watching it. They start applying pressure on the meeting breach into kitchen. They have players wrapping around Zulu, being ready to take gunfights. More of that consistency, a little bit more aggression, a little bit more spread out, with contingencies ready. The Robins had some good moments.
Yeah, I think on basement, little bit shaky with them all playing together and so close, giving the opposition a massive amount of space, basically. So obviously, playing upstairs, as you just said then, they weren't doing that as much, and obviously winning off of it.
Well, Jude, it's been a lovely evening. Thank you for joining me tonight to enjoy these two games that we've had. But that is it for us here for tonight. No more games to be played for Rainbow Six Siege until next Tuesday. Still plenty of other games being played here in the WEL2 Esports League throughout the week. So, tune back in tomorrow night if that takes your fancy. Thursday, Friday. The more the merrier, right? You always want that entertaining action. But any final words before we say sayonara to the crowd?
Just gotta say thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity to do this. Back to you.
Pleasure. Well, take care, everyone. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow for more other games, or next week, Tuesday, for more Rainbow Six Siege action. Until then, have yourselves a lovely evening, a fantastic week. We'll catch you next time.